Hey guys, I'm going to go over how we do the murder mystery party vomit lab plus CER. Okay. The CER is the um, basically the document at the end of a lab that you would use to describe your findings. Normally, we would do this vomit lab in person. However, um, we had to think of a creative way for you to get the information without having all the materials that you need. Okay. So I want y'all to just take your time on this. It's probably a little longer than some of our other assignments, not any harder. It just takes a while. So please don't rush it. So we're going to start right here with the case. You really need to read the directions. Okay. So basically, there is a scenario where you, as a High Point biology student, are assisting in an investigation. And what you're trying to figure out is you're trying to figure out who was the killer at this murder mystery party that you're at. So you'll read the description and then you'll move on to the next question. So there are 3 restaurants: Frankie Bones, The Smokehouse, and Fat Baby Pizza. You need to look at what the victim would have eaten at these restaurants. Okay, pizza with sausage, pepperoni, and bacon. Think about what those foods are made of, and then come down here and determine which macromolecule um, would you find in the contents if your victim ate that pizza. Okay, this information can be found in your journal or on the biochemistry slides that I attached to this assignment. You can use both of those. We went over examples of each macromolecule or biomolecule, so you have all that information there. After you determine those 3 things, then you'll move on to the autopsy. So the autopsy, you're actually going to test the stomach contents of the victim, and you are going to see what macromolecule was found in the victim's stomach. Okay. You also interrogated 3 suspects that ate at the 3 different restaurants. Okay. Based on what you find in the stomach contents of the victim will tell you which suspect they ate with. Okay. So only one of these are correct. Okay. So you'll need to test the victim's stomach contents that we'll do here in a second, and then compare them to the suspects and tell me which one you think was the killer. The hypothesis, this is what you believe. Here's how hypotheses are written. This is how they'll be written for the remainder of the year. Please use this template. So here are the 4 tests, okay? The first test is a carbohydrate simple sugar test. So this is the fast-acting test, or fast-acting sugar, fast-acting energy, I should say. And the next one is the carbohydrate, the complex sugar, which is also known as starch. Okay, this is the polysaccharide, and it's kind of a longer-lasting energy source. Then there's a protein test. Then there's a lipid test. On all 4 of these tests, yes, it tells you how to do it. No, we're not going to do it. We would have done it in class, but I have some pictures here in a second. On each of these 4 tests, it shows you what happens when there's a positive test, and then you'll have to figure out what happens when there's a negative test. So here are the descriptions of the 4 tests that you will be running on the stomach contents of the victim. Now it's time for you to run the 4 stomach content tests. Okay, and here's what happened. From left to right, this is what happened when you ran the sugar test. This is what happened when you ran the starch test. This is what happened when you ran the protein test. And then this is what happened when you ran the lipids test. You will take your results and compare it up here to the test procedures. Then you'll come down here and you'll answer whether your sugar, starch, protein, or lipids tests resulted in a positive or negative test. And the only way you're going to know that is if you compare this picture to these procedures. Okay, it's the only way you're going to know. Then you come down here to the CER, Claim, Evidence, and Reasoning. So basically what this is you are giving your answer on who you feel is the killer in a scientific way. You're going to tell me how you found that with evidence to prove it, and then you're going to explain why. Okay, basically this is going to be restating your hypothesis. So you'll just go through these and you'll explain in detail who you think the killer was, and this is how I want you to write it. The reason blank is the killer is because where did the victim eat its last meal? What foods were present? How did you know? What do you know about macromolecules? So this is just some pre-knowledge. All this is found in the slides. And then at the end, I want you to compare your conclusion to your original hypothesis. Okay, so you'll restate your hypothesis here. Okay, and then after you get done with that, you will submit it. And yep, that's all. So if you have any more questions, just please email me. Thank you.